Cowboys Nation, what did we just witness? I mean, seriously, 40-40 on prime time against Green Bay? You don't see games like this often, and when you do, they don't end in a tie. That's not how this league should work, but that's exactly what happened tonight. A battle, a war, a classic, and we walk away with a draw? But let me tell you something right now. The scoreboard might say tie, but what I saw on that field, that was fight. That was heart. That was a team refusing to fold. Dak Prescott looked like a man possessed. After a rough outing against the Bears, people were ready to turn on him again. And he delivered. He shut that noise down. 3 touchdowns, over 300 yards, command, confidence, accuracy. He looked like the leader we need, the leader we've got. And George Pickens, y'all better recognize. This dude is not just a replacement while CeeDee's out. This is a star being born. 2 touchdowns, clutch grabs, nearly unstoppable out there. He wanted the moment, and he took it. But let's talk about that ending. Final seconds in overtime. Green Bay scrambling at the line. Confusion, miscommunication. The broadcast team questioning everything. And the refs, they just let it play. Dak was right. It felt funny. The clock, the setup, the whole vibe. It wasn't clean. There should have been a flag, a penalty, a runoff, something. And yet, they get the kickoff, they tie it, and we're all left staring at the screen like, that's it? Nah, that can't be it. Not after what we saw from this team tonight. Because here's what matters, Cowboys Nation. This team is learning to fight without their stars. No Micah Parsons out there, no CeeDee Lamb, and still, we pushed Green Bay to the edge. Special teams made huge plays, defense came up big in the clutch, and offensively, we looked dangerous. That's what you want to see. That's what gives you hope. That's what keeps this season alive. We're 1-2-1. Not ideal, but you can't watch this game and tell me Dallas is done. You can't look at that performance and say we're cooked. This team is figuring it out. And when the pieces finally click, and they will, we're going to be dangerous, real dangerous. So here's my message to the NFL. Don't sleep on Dallas. We may not have won tonight, but we made a statement. And once this group starts finishing games like the one we just saw, look out. Cowboys Nation, talk to me. Was that ending fair? Did the refs botch the clock? And how big was that statement from Dak and Pickens tonight? Hit the like if you believe in this squad. Drop your take in the comments. I want to hear it all. And make sure you're subscribed, because Dallas Game Day is the only place where the fan voice gets loud. We're not done yet. Far from it.